everybody, it's Shelley Hoffman, and I'm here with the mayor, Dick Clarke, who once again is dressing himself in brown clothing. Just one before I die.
People have to know you're a Steeler fan. And that's like the worst thing for a Browns fan because you can lord over us all your Super Bowls, and we've never been to the Super Bowl.
I know.
So
I do.
Just one.
Just one. We're undefeated, just in case you hadn't caught that.
I know. I thought maybe the Cowboys were going to get you this past weekend, but
no. So anyway, what have you been up to? How's life in the village going right now?
Good. I think most of our fall work, I know they're still doing brush. It seems like they're doing brush every day because they are. It takes so much longer. Used to be, one house would have a little pile and then somebody would have 6 branches. And, now every house has a 4-foot tall thing of leaves, and the trucks fill up faster and they have to wait for people to go. They actually had 3 trucks on this week. So, because what they have, for people who aren't familiar, is they have a smaller machine that has like a scrape on it. And they go up and put it behind the leaves and pull them out into the road. Then another one comes along. It's a huge bulldozer type thing with this big claw that reaches out and grabs everything, picks up all the leaves, and then they go up to the back of a dump truck and open it up and bang it so all the leaves fall into the truck. Normally they have 2 of those dump trucks. So one's full, they go dump, the second one pulls in front. Well, now because there's so many leaves, trucks are filling up quicker. So now they fill up one, they're gone. Second one comes in, that gets filled before the other one gets back. So now the third truck pops in. So that it's a big operation, but there's five of our 6 or 7 DPW employees that are all tied up on brush. It means we're not doing too much else other than, water, sewer type stuff. But it's a valuable thing. It's one of our big things we tell people when they say, what do we get for our taxes? And we say, well, your brush goes all the time. We pick it up and your yard looks nice and clean when we get done. I remember as a kid, we lived down on Genesee Street next to Gates Funeral Home, and quite often we put our leaves out in the road and then we would burn them. You'd see smoke piles all up and down streets as people were burning their leaves. Well, obviously that's not very acceptable anymore. So, Chuck and the gang are wrapping up brush.
Hey, I want to mention real quick, I don't know who the group was, but on this past weekend, there was a large group of teenagers led by 2 adults, and they went up at least East Oneida Street and raked people's front yards. And there had to be 15 to 20 kids going up the street and doing it, and they looked like they were having a ball. So if anybody knows who that group is, I'd love to know. It had to be, a youth group, some type of an organization doing it. I unfortunately had already paid someone to do mine. Had I known they were coming.
But it's nice to see.
Yeah, it was great to see.
People will say all the time, we have sidewalks that we're supposed to keep clean during the wintertime, but I'm too old to go shovel and I don't have a snow blower. And I remember as a kid, we would go around sometimes after a big storm and shovel out the end of people's driveways. And usually what you got for it was maybe a cup of hot chocolate and a couple cookies or something, which is all we wanted. I mean, we weren't in a business, and we only did it once or twice a winter, but it would be kind of cool. And you do 7 or 8 driveways, and you would be particularly pleased when you knew you had an older couple maybe living in the house and know that they could get in and out of their driveway now without a problem. Because we had a rule in our house that if my father came home and couldn't get in the driveway, my life was in jeopardy. So I understood how that felt, but it was good fun with friends. And one of them is Bill Long, who's got kitty corner from your business. We would go shoveling, a couple, 3 of us, and then get together and just laugh like idiots, because that's what we did when we were all together. We just had so much fun. Nice. I think everybody always thought we were drunk. We weren't drinking at all. So it was very fond memories. That stirs up good memories for me.
Nice.
Chuck said the Christmas lights probably going to go up Thursday and Friday, the ones that go on the poles.
Okay.
They're hoping things work right with the crane company. The tree will get cut maybe in the middle of next week, and then they would take it down to the square and put it up. Just to remind people, we talked about this last week, but then I presented it to the board the other night to light up the village, and everybody seemed on board that it sounded like a good idea. So what this is, people, is we will put up the lights on the poles. We will light the Christmas tree in an unannounced little ceremony so that we won't get crowds of people. We're asking you to do at the same time, maybe over Thanksgiving break or whatever, during that stretch, to light up your house maybe like it's never been lit before. So that maybe by December 1st, your lights would be up. And then we could tell people in the village, hey, just ride up and down 5 or 6 streets. You'll see all the decorations you ever want to see. If your Christmas is a little different this year, this will be something special to brighten up your time. And we're hoping we can get Pack B to tape, go up and down the streets and tape some of the homes and then put it on TV so that people who don't go out at night when the lights would be on could watch it on television. And hopefully it'll be one of those things that'll just add a little bit of something special to people's lives. For most people that decorate anyways, some of them, I mean, there's houses in this village that don't need to add anything. I mean, they have spectacular lights up. Sometimes all you got to do is just add a wreath that's got some set of lights in it and stick it on the front porch. So they just go up and down the street. There's not a lot of dark spots. Right. So I think that'd be kind of cool. And hopefully it get on Pack B and help them out with some programming, because maybe they spend an hour taping the houses. And I think we might try to do something where we go on the village Facebook page and put a link so that people can go in and put their addresses. If you really should see my house, or you should see the house next door. It's spectacular at 21 Smallwood, or wherever it might be. And so that when people go out, you don't miss something. Like maybe you don't get up on Brown, Kriego, Mercer, up in that area. You don't hit that area, and it might be 2 or 3 houses that are worth going that extra mile. So I hope people will embrace that. I'm trying to get a hold of Ashley at the Messenger so we can get a little publicity in the Messenger because the hard thing, and I think we talked about this quite a while ago, is there's no one way to notify people anymore of what's going on in the village. The Messenger used to be everybody got the Messenger. Right. Well, that's not the case anymore. And a lot of the new people who move into the village from outside, they don't know what the Messenger is. I don't need to read about, these people having a garage sale or something. And we don't have you and I are one of the best communication links, for village stuff right now, I think. Because I hear people tell me that they saw something that I said to you or you said to me. And so I'm getting that people are seeing it eventually. And the fact that we post our board meetings on Pack B, so we talk about it there. But people will say, there's events coming up. How do we get word out? I got to be honest with you. I don't know. I know that they were trying to come up with they had a committee meeting with the library and those people, and trying to come up with it was a community calendar. Yep. Yeah. So everybody would know, go on this calendar and you can look at November, you can look at December and mark on your own calendar things that you want to see or do. And I think people had a hard time coming up with a definition of what the calendar or the app was going to contain. I mean, somebody wanted every event that every business had. Right. How long would it take it? They did have we did go live with it because I was on that committee, and we did go live with it, and they did come out with some regulations. I think, like everything, COVID hit. So we go live with it right in the spring, and then COVID comes and pretty much everything gets canceled. So I'm glad you brought that up, because Nancy Howe, Ken Schmidt, they were big proponents of that. Maybe reach out to them again and see where it stands. But I thought that was great, the Bevo, and it was hosted by the library, which what better hub in Baldwinsville than to have the library host that. So I remember when we first met, and I only went to see what the organization thing would look like, because I didn't want to be in the middle of it. I'd rather have one of our board members be involved. Yeah. But people were saying, Well, we have an all you can eat this on that night. And we get, I said, you
Yeah.
start all those things and the people are just going to go, I can't get through it. I mean, the paper used to run a calendar in Neighbors that was like 6 pages long of all the events going on over the next week. Wait, who's going to go through 6 pages looking for one event that's in their neighborhood?
Yeah.
You really got to make it so you can type in what you're, maybe what you're looking for, or you have it like a general calendar. And then if you want to find out what's going on, like in restaurants, you hit a link and maybe they've got a separate little wing over here where it's all restaurant stuff. Um, I think we need it big time. And I know that Ken and Nancy are two great people to be involved. I mean, they'll get it done. And now with you pushing, we really got a shot. So,
I'd be like, no, not her.
that takes care of our DPW. This is a big month for Meals on Wheels. Donna Metz, who, if anybody knows, Donna has the biggest heart going for people, particularly older people who are by themselves and so on. And so what they're going to do this year, typically for Thanksgiving, I used to deliver meals. I did it for about 6 or 7 years. And on Wednesday, you would take about 4 meals for the vacation because a lot of people weren't available to deliver on Friday. So you would take meals for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they would take a Thanksgiving meal would be frozen. So you'd have turkey, a little bit of stuffing, some mashed potatoes, maybe a vegetable, and then they would throw in a piece of pie, pumpkin pie or something. But the meal in general was frozen. So on Thursday, you got up and pulled it out of the freezer and stuck it in the microwave, and you had your Thanksgiving dinner, which was always a good. I mean, everything was fresh cooked. It just was only a day before. Now they're going to be open Thanksgiving morning, have a crew come in, and they're going to cook turkeys, and everything will be hot and fresh. So when they come to the door, you'll be handed a dinner for Thursday that's ready to eat. You don't have to heat it up. The gravy will be hot. Everything, it'll be really nice. And that takes a lot of work to coordinate because, everybody that works over there has family and things to do on Thanksgiving. And so just hats off to Meals on Wheels. But in addition to that, they're in the middle of a canned food drive.
Okay.
They like to collect cans, and then I think they put together, either they use the canned fruit to put into meals, or if they have enough of it, I think they do what they call like blizzard packs, which are for when there's a storm and nobody can deliver. You've got a can of pineapple in the cupboard. You've got a can of peaches. May not be the perfect dinner, but you got something to eat that's sort of healthy. And so they're having a big can drive. If you have any questions, contact Canton Woods, and they'll get you through to Meals on Wheels because they're not there all day.
Do you know where the collection site is? Is it at Canton Woods or is it?
At Canton Woods, and I think Donna had said to me, if people want to bring like a bag of stuff and just put it outside the kitchen, which if you look at Canton Woods, you have the main door, double doors, and then right to the right of that is a door that sets back a little bit. That's the kitchen door. So if you just set your bag there, they'll get them in the morning. They also are in the middle of their fundraising drive where they sent out a letter looking for donations. So this is a big time for Meals on Wheels. If you have a heart for senior citizens, Meals on Wheels is a great way to support them. And again, call the center. They'll get a message to Donna. If she's there, they'll transfer you into Meals on Wheels. Maybe you got canned food and you can't get there, and they probably would have one of their people that deliver meals swing over and pick up something at your house. Right. So great time to support a great organization. We talked about it before with the volunteer center, Baldwinsville helping Baldwinsville. They're all, Pam Milak has been saying anybody needs anything, let us know. So there are resources. Call the senior center. I don't know how to get groceries. I don't have a way to get to the store. They'll find you a way. Don't not get help. Call Canton Woods 638-4536 and somebody will have information to get you to the right place. So Meals on Wheels, again, I just love the work Donna does and the way she keeps things going over there. First-rate organization. Codes would like me to point out that there are still a few election signs up. I know there were a couple wise acres on Facebook that said, well, the election isn't really over yet. But the vote, everybody should have voted. So get your signs
Sorry.
down.
Sometimes Facebook comments do crack me up. So
Yeah. I got a reminder from Greg and a reminder from the chief that overnight parking ban starts November 15th. And I think the chief explained it pretty good. I think I've explained it. You can't park on the street after the 15th. You risk getting a ticket. In the beginning, you'll get a warning. If it snows on the 16th and we got a foot of snow and you're parked in the street, you're gonna get a ticket. Greg also points out it's the ban on seasonal vehicles being parked in your driveway. So if you have a camper that you have in your driveway, which is in front of your house, the camper has to be no closer to the street than the front line of your house. So if you put it on the side yard and you look down the front of your house, the camper shouldn't be sticking out. Or there's plenty of places that take storage. Get that done before the 15th, which is coming up next week. Right?
Today's the 11th. So
so there you go. I think I did DPW. Courts, nothing new in court. They're still doing the Wednesday. Like tonight will be a court night. And Canton Woods, they did go back outside with some activities. Yesterday, I'm guessing they took their fall prevention group outside. I know they had a puzzle exchange. They did that outside because it was so nice on Monday.
Yep.
Obviously today, not so nice. And it doesn't look like we're going to be nice, but people have been very cooperative. They had bingo last Friday and it went over very big. People were thrilled. There were like 10 people playing. I think they have a limit of 12, 13 people that can play. Just a reminder on anything that you want to do at Canton Woods. If you get your newsletter and you see you would like to be part of the art group, the book group, whatever, call first because they do have size limitations on the groups. They don't want people just to come to the door and say, oh, I decided I would come today and be part of the art group. No, they want to know you're coming.
Yeah.
You have to wear a mask, social distance. They are doing both, which is smart. But they've been getting good participation and good reaction from people.
And if anybody thinks that that's odd that you have to call ahead, I'm an example. I took my girls to the zoo this weekend because I thought it's a beautiful weekend to go to the zoo. I did not call ahead. So guess who did not go into the zoo? You know, and it makes sense when you stop and think about why. You got to control the number. So it would make sense with Canton Woods being the population that they have to be cautious of how many people they're having coming in and, you know, keeping it safe. And
it is possible that 40 people could show up for bingo, which would be more than they had planned for. And so they don't want any surprises. So call ahead. One thing I forgot to mention about the Meals on Wheels is they had a pork drive-up pork dinner Saturday, which was outstanding. The pork was great. Huge batch of mashed potatoes, homemade applesauce. I mean, how many times can you get that eaten out like that? And then they had homemade desserts. We got some cherry cobbler because it was gluten-free, so Linda could have one. And they sold out in 2 hours.
Wow.
So, and they had, I know Donna said they had 100 pounds of pork. So you figure every dinner had probably 3/4 of a pound. They sold quite a few dinners for $10 a piece. So that's great reaction. And it's nice to know that maybe a couple that hasn't been able to go out to eat were able to pick up a couple dinners and enjoy a nice pork dinner with great dessert. And so again, the senior center has with Meals on Wheels has just gone beyond what you could expect from a center like that. Before I get into Canton Woods stuff, Village Hall reminder from Mo that outstanding water and sewer bills for village residents. So if you still owe back money for your water sewer bill, November 25th is the day that gets added to your property tax.
Okay.
Which you pay in March. If you don't want that to happen, you've got to pay by the 25th. There's a drop box. You can go on the website, www.baldwinsville.org, and there is a link to pay online, or you can come put it in the mail and take care of that. There's nothing worse than in the spring when people come in and say, well, I had money put aside for my taxes and now it's $67 more. How did that happen? So you didn't pay your water bill.
And that's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
Well, before you go further, I wanted to mention that one of the people watching, Sandy, said it was a youth group from a church that came by and did the leaves on Oneida Street, which I'm telling you, those kids did a great job and they looked like they were having fun. So
yeah, that's really crucial that they're having some fun.
Yeah,
because there are some things that kids normally do that they're not able to do and have fun with. So I'm glad. That's terrific. Keep it up, people. You make me feel good about Baldwinsville. The rescue mission is doing dinners for Thanksgiving. That's already signed up, but they will do a meal for Christmas. If you want a meal delivered to you, or if you know somebody that lives alone that maybe doesn't have access to seeing things like this to know about it, you can get a Christmas dinner delivered to them from the rescue mission by calling Canton Woods, but you have to get your order in by December 4th.
Okay.
So that'd be nice. Somebody would be surprised. All of a sudden there'll be a knock on the door and it's Merry Christmas. We brought you your Christmas dinner. I don't know if it's probably ham a lot of times for Christmas. So ham and, potatoes and probably some Christmas cookies or something. Nice treat for somebody who was planning on having a frozen dinner.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Again, a lot of the things had moved inside, but Ruth had said to me she was thrilled that she was able to get people back outside, and no complaining about it. People enjoy it. I mean, it was 70 degrees and it wasn't hot, and the bugs have kind of mostly disappeared. So, good time to be outdoors. Again, masks, social distancing, advanced call up. The art group meets the 24th of November, 2 to 3:30. The book club meets the 17th of November, 2 to 3:30. The book this time is Where the Wind Leads by Vin Chung. So if you want to take part, Where the Wind Leads, get that book and read it. Bingo at 1 o'clock. I know there was some concern whether it was going to continue after the recent stuff in the county, but at this point, I haven't heard that it's being called off.
Okay.
Down memory lane has been pretty good on Mondays. We've had pretty much the same group of 6 or 7 people. Anybody who would like to join, you don't have to be a member of Canton Woods to do it. If you're just a senior at home who would like to call up and join in on the fun, let me know. You can send a message to the village Facebook page or call Village Hall and leave a message for me, and I'll get back to you and get you hooked up with a way to join us.
I did, and I did speak to somebody. We spoke briefly last week. I don't know if it was live or afterwards about Zoom, getting somebody to do a Zoom instruction. And I do have somebody that is probably going to come on in the next week or two to go through some Zoom basics. And then that way, even if we put an email form or a download somehow to send to people, because obviously, they may need that in another form other than social media. Although PACB will probably run it on their station as well. So you had requested that, and I did actually that evening come across somebody who was willing to go through that with me. So
very good. That's great. And I had told somebody at the senior, it probably was Ruth at the senior center, that had talked to you about maybe putting some sort of a help session on Zoom stuff, because if the virus sticks around like it is now, everything's going to go Zoom again, meetings and that type of stuff. And I don't want people to feel left out, that they can't, watch a meeting, whether it's the fire department, whether it's, maybe some historic group that would do it virtually.
Right.
And again, that reminds me, somebody said, oh, I wish Shacksboro was open because I want to buy something for a Christmas present. And call them, and I think they'll work with you.
Okay.
They had they had the puzzle giveaway already. They're going to have a yarn giveaway on the 16th, which is Monday, from 1 to 3. They'll have it all organized on tables. Again, you need to call ahead to book a time when you come. They're not going to have everybody come at once. You're going to come in and you'll be the only one walking around, for 10, 15 minutes, and then you leave, the next person comes in. And they're really hoping the craft group would love to see people take the stuff that would make something to donate to the groups that they support, which are like the Veterans Hospital and nursing homes. But if you just wanted to play around a little bit and make a grandchild a scarf or something, there's going to be yarn there, and they got a lot of it. The 85th birthday celebration's coming up November 23rd, which is a Monday? Friday.
The 23rd?
Yeah, I think that's a Friday.
I can tell you the 23rd is a Monday.
It's a Monday the 23rd at 2:00, and it will be a drive-up thing again, but you have to call the center to sign up. So for those people who enjoy maybe getting a piece of cake and a rose or something like that, call, get yourself signed up, and hopefully you've got somebody that can drive you over if you can't do it yourself, and your birthday will be remembered. The peace lunches are still going strong. They're getting pretty steady turnout for those. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, call ahead of time. Not ahead that day, but like a couple days. Nancy Sullivan continuing to be available for anything you need to talk about. 638-4536. She can help you with HEAP or any other concern you have. Nancy's great with the seniors. And again, I think I told you, but several of the seniors had said in different areas that they were tickled to get a phone call from Nancy saying, "How are you?"
Yeah.
So again, I throw out a reminder. If you got neighbors that are by themselves and you don't see them much, nice weather, you probably see them a little more. They might come out to get their mail. When it gets a little colder, they might let their mail sit there for a couple of days and not do it. That's one of the nice things with Meals on Wheels is typically when they knock on the door, they either hear somebody yell, "I'll get it in a minute, just leave it," or somebody comes to the door and on the sheet that the drivers have, it says you saw them or you didn't see them. And if you get too many of did not see, then Donna or somebody at Meals on Wheels will make a phone call and say, "Have you been sick?" I just got up late a couple days in a row, but I found out when I was doing it that the food is like secondary to, it's really a checkup to see. You knock on the door and somebody comes and you see them and they're like, they look like they've got the flu or they're sick, and now you can call. Donna would then call somebody in the family who's on the list and say, "Joni didn't look good this morning. Is she okay? I'm going over this afternoon. I'll find out. I'll let you know." And so that's the most important part of it. Plus, it's got to be awful. I mean, even with the quarantine where you're not getting out as much, somebody comes to the door.
Yeah.
I mean, Linda and I don't exactly bowl each other over to go answer the door, but it's kind of exciting to think somebody's out there.
I dropped a box off today. You didn't even know.
Yeah, right. Well, I probably was in the shower. So, and there's times, where I'm in my pajamas and I might not go to the door if the UPS guy comes and they just leave it. It used to be they wouldn't leave the stuff. Now at least now they do. And the last thing I'd like to address is, we're now in a yellow zone for Lysander and several parts of Onondaga County. And then I saw a story where Ryan McMahon is saying that the numbers for the county today will probably be the highest we've had since the start of the virus.
Yeah, I saw that.
Granted, when we first started, they were testing 150 people a day. Now they're testing 5,000 a day. So you're going to get more positives. But the state, when they started giving us the stages back, okay, stage 1, stage 2, it was like, you'll be all right as long as you don't hit 5%. Well, parts of the county have hit 5%, not all of the county. So that helps the overall average. But it's if we can't, I know there's a lot of political stuff that goes into this. And I'm not going to tell people that one party's right or one party's wrong. But just if you thought about it for like 2 weeks, quarantine yourself within limits. I mean, you got to have groceries. So If you have to go to the store, you go to the store, but you don't need to have 6 or 8 people over to sit around the table and celebrate your birthday. I mean, our son Jim just had a birthday on the 9th, and they had a drive-by. You know, he's got a business, so they had people drive by the business, and so several cars went by and beeping, and you know, his wife had arranged it because she knew he'd miss out on seeing a lot of his friends. And so we did for Linda's birthday back in April. We had a drive-by. It was 7 or 8 cars, but she was tickled. Somebody brought balloons and tied them to a lawn chair we had out in the yard, and people went by and waved. And there was a couple people we were surprised to see. It isn't what you want. I understand that. I don't like to be cooped up in the house either, but I'd like to see us get back down to where we're under 1% infection rate and know that we got a chance. I mean, it just seems like, I'm not trying to scare people, but it seems like the schools are going to shut down, that some of the normal stuff with kids going back to school. One of the neighbor kids, I said, how is, oh, I love being back in school, seeing my friends. Well, that may not last. And I was disappointed to see that Lysander was one of the culprits. I don't know if there's a specific area, if it's our businesses, if it's the bars. There's not a whole lot of business area in Lysander outside of downtown Baldwinsville. So I don't know if it's Radisson, if there were some parties out there, or I shouldn't even be guessing, but it's kind of disappointing because you think we've been doing pretty good. The businesses have been working hard to stay safe. And I just would ask people, look beyond your own life a little bit sometimes and think that if you passed up on things for a week or two, that maybe we all could enjoy things a little more. We're going to get shut down again. Everything's going to be drive up restaurants and, pick up. And, now at least you can go to some of the restaurants and sit at a table. And so I don't know. It sounds like I'm preaching, but I just, it gets frustrating when Ryan McMahon, who has done so well to keep the county, he's upgraded the testing. He's going to upgrade it more. I know one of the big concerns is the schools. They have to test like 1,000 kids a week. And the schools are saying, we're not sure we can get enough permission from enough parents to have that many kids tested. Why would you not want to get tested? I mean, it's cotton swab, or maybe I don't know, maybe they're doing the saliva now so they can get it quicker. But just if we all work together, maybe we can get through this and have a reasonable holiday season. I spent too much time on that. Trying to spend time on the positive stuff.
Well, and I think everybody's disappointed to see that the yellow come. As for Lysander, there's still a lot of traveling amongst, a lot of people in Lysander work downtown. They work in Fayetteville. We work all over the place. So, people come in from all over. I like to look at it more as like we're kind of a melting pot. Like that's one of the things I love about this is a lot of people come in. So, I'm not saying we aren't the culprit, right? We just happen to be almost like a hub that people like to come to. And we do have some great restaurants and some businesses and stuff, and we want to support them. And they're getting support from outside too. So that might be part of why our numbers are a little bit higher too.
Yeah. We are what they call a bedroom community, where people live and sleep here and then go work somewhere else. And like you say, they come back from work. And I know that I've seen stories about, will the work at home model become more permanent because people are finding that they're not spending as much money. They don't need to have big wardrobes to dress for the office.
Yeah.
They're eating at home for lunch instead of buying out. So some people need that social interaction when they're working.
Right.
I was not a great person. I would not have done well working at home when I was younger. Now I would be fine. But when I was 25 years old, if you said, okay, I was a newspaper reporter, so if you got 3 or 4 stories for you to work on, I think I mow the lawn first, and take the dog for a walk, or, and like all of a sudden now it's too late to get a hold of people. I got to do it tomorrow. And
well, I don't talk about, what I have going on too much in this. I always like to hear what's going on in the community, but that's one of the reasons that we're opening up the work share and development, just so that maybe once a week, if somebody does want to get out of their house, they have like a place to go and, maybe 10 people at the most in a good sized building. And I'm not going to go into, but that they became popular before COVID. There's one downtown called Syracuse. There's some in Chicago, LA, but that's part of it. A lot of people don't want to go downtown and be in an office building Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. But people like you might like to pop in somewhere else. I would go, might surprise you, but I'd go stir crazy if I had to stay. I quarantined with my daughter for 2 weeks. I painted the house. I painted because I had to stay busy.
Up here.
So I don't think you're preaching at all. I think it's very realistic, to kind of get through it. So,
is your business, just to give you a boost, if it is that the thing, like when they talk about like work cafes or type of thing where somebody who doesn't want to be in the house because there's too much noise,
correct,
bring their laptop with them and do all their work in your office?
Yeah. So there's going to be, they're called hot desks. There's 3 desks where you can sit spread out. You can have a private office. There's a live streaming room and then a conference room with a television. So if you wanted to Zoom but do a presentation, you'd have that. But that's exactly what it is. Your membership pays for Wi-Fi copies, like the office pieces.
Okay.
So
I know when my niece and her husband they traveled Europe and went to Bulgaria where my grandfather was born and stuff. They were finding these cafes that were set up with individual tables, and you could work for 4 hours. And I don't know if you had to reserve them or not, but they worked their way across Europe doing that.
They did. So
everybody was on vacation, but they were working.
Yeah, Kim, your niece Kim is actually one of the people that I talked to about a year ago that gave the idea to do it, and then COVID kind of kicked it into hyperdrive. So, but yeah, a lot of the ideas and a lot of the pieces come from Kim, because just the way that she described what she was able to do because of those locations. Seemed like she had a great time. So, but anyway, as always,
lifetime.
Yeah. So, well, I guess we're getting more personal than village talking. So I'm gonna let you go. Thanks, Mayor, for your time again this week.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.